so I'm going somewhere. I want to be able to pour my burden on the show, and so everybody can, tell me what they think about it. Right now, when you go to countries like China, who have somewhat great economic statistics and are fairly doing okay, even though there is seemingly a global economic challenge, you would see that they run a centralized government, not necessarily like that of Nigeria, but it's a central government nonetheless. Am I advocating for a decentralized kind of government? Yes, but will that solve the problem? I wonder, maybe not. You go to a country like India, they also have a centralized system of governance. Is it working in India? To an extent, we can argue that. Is it really the system? Or is it the people therein? And we can divide the people into two. We can divide the people into the political class and the followers of the political class. Yeah. Now, we've seen several leaders come and go, from the military to civilians, and there has been a common denominator, which has been governments plagued or characterized with corruption, governments who tricked the people, made them believe that what they call legacy projects are projects enough to make the people clap for them, dance for them at airports, and praise them to the high heavens. And we've seen these things over and over and over again. Some of you have lived for 50 years. Some of you have lived for 40 years. Some of you have lived for 30 years. Have we been able, and let's be realistic with ourselves, have we been able to tackle some of the basic challenges like electricity supply, like water rushing in the houses of people, like security, like health care? Do we have it? Are these things rocket science? I really wonder if they are. For a country as blessed as we are, I really wonder if these things are rocket science. But guess what? We have got leaders who would make it seem and make it look like these things are too difficult to achieve, like rehabilitating the refineries or rebuilding new ones. But guess what? We're divided. Some clap for, and those who criticize don't criticize because they want solutions. They criticize so that the people in power can look bad, so that their own people can come into power. And this is a burden that plagues me, and it plagues me every time I come on air to talk for development. And I want to use, today's Friday, so I hope you can permit me to share. What is the current inflation? Last time it was checked, it was somewhere around 33.46%. I would have to go to my notes now to verify that. We changed the format with which we calculate unemployment in the country, and and we now say, before now we were not taking into cognizance the people who are petty traders, the farmers, the people in rural areas who are into one thing or the other, and that it was at the time less than 4% who were. That has grown from January up until now. From January up until now, it has grown to 5% or even more. That's the last time it was recorded. So 5% of the people living in the country are unemployed, and then the people who have got petty, because from that statistics, the remaining people, about 80 or 70% of them are people who are not employed into white collar jobs, who are into one scale of business or the other. These people are going through the toughest time in the country. I'm talking about businesses now, because the other day, was it on Tuesday, the Manufacturing Association came out and said about 380,000 people have lost their jobs because businesses can no longer continue with the current economic situation in the country. About 300 businesses have shut down in the last few months. Statistics. You go on the Tribune newspapers published on Tuesday, you would see it. I'm not making up this what to call it now, this facts, this statistics. I'm not making it up. And yet, guess what our arguments have been centered about have been, what political party, who's the best president, or who's the best governor, who's the best this, who's the best that. And then I'm beginning to think the followers also have contributed to the level of underdevelopment that we experience in Africa, or even in Nigeria as the case is right now. The followers have. Because, to a large extent, I do feel the followers don't even know what they want. They don't know what they want. And so they clap for bridges, they clap for the creation of drainages, they tie wrappers, and you know the drill, you know how it happens in the country. And it's not the River State thing, by the way. It happens every part of this country. And so I want to dialogue. Which way, Nigeria? It is the bottom of the hour, 4:30 p.m. You're listening to 92.3 Nigeria Info. I am Kaladaka Rubatibo. This is Hard Facts, and we're having the dialogue. And the question I'm asking, which way Nigeria? What should the Nigerian priority be? What should it be? And I've taken, a bit of time to tell you how I feel about how I've observed things. And I do know some of you have observed it like that as well. And I've used facts and figures, to show you that some of these things that I've observed are reality. And, we say a large percent of the people out there who are working are business people, SMEs or MSMEs. However, these people are finding it very difficult to do business. Go to the market and see how many people are out there trying to purchase items from the market. So the market woman is not making as she should make because things are very much expensive. How many people are out there buying tomatoes? And I'm using tomatoes because, it's outrageous the amount that you get to buy tomatoes for now. I hear for seeds of tomatoes is going for 1,000 and above. So these are the issues. However, it looks like we are yet to wake up and smell the coffee. It looks like we're still very much cozy with how things are. We're basking talking in the euphoria of being African giant, or the giant of Africa. I should remind you that one of the headlines this morning was that the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria has gone again to borrow $2.25 billion or $2.5 billion thereabout. Why should a country so blessed? And I was talking with my programs manager the other day, and he said, remember when we were growing up, and I don't know if the diaries these days still have it, and you would open the front pages of a diary and it would tell you each state, the mineral resources or what they were blessed with. Each state, I'm not talking every state. Have we been able to unearth it? Oh, that seems like rocket science for Nigeria. That is the African giant. And yet, the followers are bent on whether APC has been the best government ever, or it's been 16 years of PDP. The argument has been whether it is my turn or not my turn, or if it's a Mr. Peter Obi or not a Mr. Peter Obi. The argument has been, and it is sad to see, and no one asking the question, the followers, the Nigerian populace, do they even know what they deserve? They know what they want. Some said, "Oh, it's what we're going through is a reflection of, what transpired during the electoral season." What is the guarantee that if any of the other people who lost had won, the situation would have been different? Because once again, military have come and gone, several democratic eras have come and gone. Now we've had uninterrupted 25 years, and by the way, in the 25 years, different people have governed the country, and yet the status quo, I'm not using it in legal matters now, but the status quo have remained. The status quo is the same. No light enough to power the industries. No industries despite the raw materials we have. And all that we care about, all we care about is our various political faith, like they call it. And so, which way Nigeria? Sonny Okosu sang that song in the 80s, the 70s, and it's still very much valid in 2024. And I wonder if Nigerians even sit for a second and ask, really, why are we where we are right now? And this is not in any way to say go on the streets and be violent, because violence will only worsen things. Violence never solves the problem. Our people are eager to leave the country. At some point, people were proud to be in the country. People were proud to be Nigerians. What has changed? And if you say it is the political elites, who has empowered the political elites? Who has made it possible for the political elite to behave in the manner and in the way that they behave? And I probably would agree with Fashola for a bit, that those who are saying, oh, let Nigeria, just scatter, let it disintegrate, let it just cease to exist. Those people are trampling on the memories of martyrs and heroes and heroines of time past, like Dora Akinyuli, the likes of Dora Akinyuli, and many other people who've sacrificed so much for Nigeria to be, where we are at least right now. For a country as blessed as we are, we should be lending. We should be lending and not borrowing. And some people say, oh, there is no country. I mean, maybe because I'm not in government. Maybe, I don't know. Because country is blessed. Every state, and I'm not mincing words, every state has got a natural resource. If you leave me, I'm going to talk from now till, so I'm just going to, I told you it's a budding, and I'm just ventilating. So I'm going to open the phone lines right now. I've given you my facts, I've given you my figures. I want to get your thoughts now, what your opinion is on this very issue. And it is, once again, what should be the priority of Nigerians, or what should be the Nigerian priority? I think that's a better way to put it. Which which way Nigeria? And I usually ask this questions every once in a while, and today I've been pushed to ask because every day we call, we tell what sides we belong to, we argue for our principles, we argue for the people we love. Usually political bias is very evident on the show, but today can we remove the scale and think Nigeria and breathe Nigeria? Which way? What should be our priority? Is it building schools, building health, or industrialization? What should be the priority? What should we be looking at? And if it means me going down to the point where I break down in tears, I would break down and ask the question, what should be the Nigerian priority? 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0003, 0817-923-0007. WhatsApp number 0809-0306416. Well, what's the solution, by the way? Because, people say, restructure. But who will be the people to man the restructured country? Who would be the people to man the states? For instance, if we say, let's decentralize. If we come to the point of decentralization, same state governor, the same local government chairman, the same. I looked at statistics and I said, okay, how many states has got the capacity to employ? Apart from Lagos, that is about above 58%, and Abuja, that is somewhere around 40-something%. The next on the list was Rivers State with 3%. Rivers State had 3% capacity. I didn't make the stats myself. Google it and you see it. And then imagine if Rivers State had 3%, what the other states below Rivers State would have in terms of their ability and capacity to employ. These are statistics. And every day we clap and we say, I know this guy is the best thing after sliced bread. Anyways, I've got Dede from Iwofe. Dede, welcome. What is on your mind? I
greet you. Canada.
Yeah, welcome.
For me, with all that you said so far, I think our leaders have not really decided to help the citizens by defining leadership and the reason why they always agitate to be at the head of affairs of this very country. Looking at how things have gone so far, you find out the insincerity in leadership and also lack of focus in leadership. You will be talking and be talking, and our prayer, because we Africans will always talk about prayer. Our prayer is that God will remember us, because they are all for themselves. We are for ourselves. By the style of the leadership in this country, since they are talking about democracy, which I know that we are not practicing in the real sense, there is no sector that you look at and you say the people are being positively affected by the government. All is what would benefit them, their family and their friends. So it's very unfortunate that at this point, the Nigerians are crying. Okay, look at Dangote. Despite that we know that he is one of the cabal, why not them give license to this modular refinery? Let them start operating. But they cannot do that because they have an interior motive, and all of them have their interests and which they are fighting to protect. And it's not affecting the common man. Gary is in decrease. Look at the dollar is increasing every day. Fuel. Nobody is talking about all these things that affect the common masses. It's very unfortunate.
All right, Dede, thank you very much.
Not just political party, whether PDP or APC or AN, whichever party, is the will of the leaders to affect Nigeria.
Dede, I've got to let you go. All right, thank you very much. I know one of the news headlines today said something about Niger State Governor and Deputy Speaker of that state going for Hajj. And anyways, Paul from Bury Camp, welcome, Paul. Let's get your thoughts
and let's talk
for development, Paul.
My brother, this question which you asked It requires a long time for answer, but I just money within 1 minute. Let me whether you will make sense out of it.
Okay.
The solution is for me, as for here, is to take this country back by force. If we didn't apply force, it will never
When
work.
you say apply force,
I'm not talking about military force, but the citizens.
how do you mean?
Why I say so? If we look back 2020, where there was the answers, if we look at Nigeria, those areas that answers took place, police checkpoint reduced. For like 2 weeks after the answers, some police they were not wearing uniform. That is to say they were in fear. But I'm not emphasizing on police. I'm emphasizing on politicians. These wicked people, me alleging that I normally call them habitual criminals because they are so wicked. They don't think about any other thing. And the reason why is that I'm alleging that some of them, because I'm close to some of them, if they are just 2%, they are not more than 2% suffering the whole nation. They know they have gone far. Some of them on the helm of affairs leading this country. They kill their parents, they kill their relatives, they kill their political opponent to be here.
Do you have...
There is nothing which you can do that it will reach their mind.
Okay, let me ask you a
Because
question.
they know the way, how they clear their way to be in the helm of their affairs.
Allegation,
So
Paul.
there's nothing.
Allegation, Paul.
Unless
Paul, now, pause.
their life is being threatened, then they will not say there is something seriously
No,
happening around
let's
them.
not preach violence, Paul. I was going to ask you a question. When you say 2% of the politicians are suffering the nation, I wanted to ask you, who allowed the 2%? The first two callers have blamed the leaders, but what know what the leaders are supposed to bring their way? Do they know what they deserve? Do we even know what local government chairmen are supposed to do? Do we know what governors are supposed to do? Anyways, Obed from Port Harcourt is on the line. Obed, welcome.
Yes, Kalada, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon to you.
Kalada, I think you asked the question you asked. Me, my answer is the system, part of the system, responsible, and the people. When I mean the people.
What system? Before we get to the people, what system are you referring to?
Yeah, the system, how the nation is structured.
Okay.
You understand? That's what I'm saying.
Mm.
The people, this is part of the system, I mean. The people. And when I mean people, that includes those at the helm of affairs.
Mm.
You understand?
Mm.
So, Kalada, right now, states can generate power. Apart from Abia State, how many other states that make effort to generate power?
But by the way, now you mentioned Abia State, the power there is by a private entity in partnership with government. So let's call it as it is, right?
Good government partner, right?
Okay, all right.
Which means they have interest, I think, in it. How many other states you can see any interest like this? So, with what we have in our constitution right now, Canada, if we make do of it, the country will be better.
Mm.
But the problem is the people that are manning the system.
Okay.
And the system we have is making it very difficult. That's the problem.
Mm.
How many times are we conducting election in this country? When we talk about INEC chairman will come out, people will come out and vote, this and that vote is going to come. At the end of the day, the whole will be frustrated. Is it not the people? So I tell you, Canada, it doesn't matter how many restructuring we are doing, just like you said, they are coming up with another regional government and all that. Without the people having the interest and being patriotic about this very country, nothing will change, Canada.
All right.
I repeat,
Nothing
will change.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I've got Clinton from Bori. Clinton, welcome. What is on your mind? I'd like to hear from you, please. Hello, Clinton. Can you hear me? Hello, Clinton. Are you there? All right. I'll have to let that one go, Clinton. I guess you can call back or you send me a WhatsApp message. Well, let's quickly take a look at what is being said on WhatsApp. We've got a couple of messages there. This one says your comparison with India and China isn't okay because they are single nation countries with one language and culture. Is that what you? I mean, okay. I'm not going to go into all of that. But you said Nigeria is made up of hundreds of nationalities, hence the central government model can't work. We have tried it and seen it can't work. We need sometimes more advanced and complex than the US decentralized system, because Nigeria has over 300 nationalities in one country, PSD. Now, I know that's also been part of the argument, but do you know that China has got all other tribes and nationalities, I can say, in China as well? You think they all belong to one tribe? Now, when you say they speak one language, Mandarin, go and, if you study the language, you understand what I mean. There are other languages in China, but Mandarin is the official language in China. I think there are about two, three other languages. China has got three majorly, when it comes to language, three major languages, and the Mandarin is the official. And when you talk about India has got also different tribes in India. Yes, they've got different tribes. Go check it out. I'm not even talking about a religion now. I'm talking about tribes. But they still find a way to exist. Okay. This one says, where is it now? I missed it. Make break your head. Our problem is from us. A lot of us have traveled out of this country for study, for business, and for sightseeing. I wonder what they have copied from all these movements, and a lot of them are in the National Assembly, and they can't make any good law. One day, the rightful ruler will come and lead us to what kind of government we should operate. And this one says, good afternoon, Canada. From when Socrates died as a result of democratic principles, people like Plato sees democracy as the worst form of government. It's a government of the few opportunists, the view of which I share into. How many democratic countries in the world are doing well? Odimegu Sonny Didia from Omerelu. All right, this one says, it is the quality of rulers that we have that is the problem of Nigeria. They are selfish, they have no interest in the people they rule. In fact, Canada, Nigeria has no leader but rulers. Leaders ought to care about the welfare of the people they lead, but rulers are only interested in their personal concerns. You can imagine that over 300 companies have closed with over 380,000 people losing their jobs. Yet Tinubu celebrated his 1 year of hardship for Nigerians as achievement. That ought to tell you how cruel the so-called leaders are. You're only talking about tomatoes but not Gary, which the poor can no longer buy. I have said before that the so-called democracy is an organized crime by Nigerian ruling class to enslave the Nigerian people. They have a hidden agenda to control Nigerian population by eliminating the poor through hardship. The solution, okay, I'm going to leave that your solution, but thank you very much, DK, for your thoughts. I'm going to listen to the soundbite now.
Oh, Canada, good afternoon. This is Sukari from Akenima. While I listen to you run the intro for hard facts, this section, I can't but help to ponder who is at fault really. And if you ask me, I will say if the leaders do not have followers, they will not continue in the things they do. I will always like to use River State as a case study. Today I went somewhere, and it's a local government in River State, Igweche, as a matter of fact. Kalada, there is no road. There is no road in Igweche, whether you go from Umuebuleche or you go from the Igweche. There is no road there. But people are living there, and people there are either supporting Governor Siminalayi Fubara, or they are supporting former Governor Ezebonye Sonwike. And the question is, which one of these persons have attended to you? Okay, Ezebonye Sonwike's tenure has gone. He will not leave Federal Capital Territory to come and repair Igweche Road. But Siminalayi has the opportunity, because he holds both the red pen in the common practice, we say the yam and the knife. So I think it is his place to prove every person wrong. Now back to what you have introduced. Our people are the cause. I am from Nkrama. Kalada, if you go there, one of the pioneer secondary schools in this state. They call it government secondary school, but now it is a John Grammar School. Kalada, if I send you pictures, you will cry. We have prominent persons that were produced from that school. They don't even talk about the old boys, or the old girls, or the old students of that secondary school. It is a forest right now as I talk to you. It means what? I will even draw pictures for just you to see. It's a forest. In the whole of Ahoda, that is the only boys' secondary school. In the whole of Ahoda West, the only girls' secondary school is domiciled in John Krama 2, Isu John Krama J2, fondly called. Nothing is happening. Under the rain, students were sitting there in one cubicle, a place that was meant originally as the principal or vice principal quarters, is the place the entire school is using to learn. That is where the students were sitting for the exams. I met the principal of the place. She lamented, telling me how she gathered money herself to fix the roof so that the students can sit there for their exams. WAEC has passed, NECO is about to begin. Kalada, the model primary schools Rotimi Amechi built in those villages are abandoned. You see people attend makeshift buildings where they pay money in a batch to learn.
Interesting.
The people from those communities are running around here some week or running around HE similar Fubara. So the fault is whose? The fault is ours, sir.
All right, then. All right, thank you very much. Since the fault is ours because we probably don't know what we want. Do I have enough time? Okay, I was. My goodness.
Canada.
Okay, network, I guess.
Good evening. Industrialization is the way to go. For over how many years now, we were taken away as slaves. And at the time, they look at the whole scenario and discover that it's easier to keep the people in their place and send them what to grow so that they can service their industries over there. So they stop exporting our people as a product to Europe, plantations and American plantation, all those put together. But as a people, Nigerians, black people, we have not learned anything from those experiences. So what do? We have food, for instance. People come here, exploit the crude, take it abroad, bring it back to us, and we don't even have jobs here. So what happened? We cannot add value, we cannot do anything, and people remain unemployed.
I'm sorry, JJ, I suppose you've got a commercial. However, I'd like to say one of the headlines from yesterday said that the lawmakers are thinking of buying the president and the vice president in new jets, just so you know. Commercial break.